Every parent should have a plan, and that plan should be conveyed to the child. What happens if you're abducted? Ask them. Make sure they know. This is what I do. This is what I don't do. This is what I look for. They should know what to do.
First of all, in my opinion, it's an art to raise a child. There are some guidelines, but there are no set rules.
Focus on specific, concrete safety rules that children can follow.
Kids generally know that the world is a dangerous place. If you talk about the dangers along with the things that they can do, I think overall they feel empowered and more safe.
There's a certain step, a sequence of events that needs to happen in order to make sure that the learning did take place, truly, and at a depth at which it can be drawn if stress happens.
I think it's important, say if a child's going to learn a self-defense program, that the techniques that they're going to learn are techniques that a child can learn quickly, easy, and again, like I said, easy to retain.
A parent needs to know what's out there. Parents are always telling their little children, don't talk to strangers, don't get into cars with strangers, don't take food from strangers, all these things. Well, there's a new stranger, and that's the stranger on the internet.
If you don't make a point of taking time to listen to your child and hearing what they say, some pervert will.
A lot of it really comes down to maybe two words: parenting and communication. Being involved in your child's life, knowing what they're doing, who their friends are, communicating interest in them, communicating that you love them, communicating that you're concerned about them.
The best course of action for a teenager to be aware of what's going on as far as dangers go is awareness itself.
But at the same time, it's important that children aren't afraid of everybody. Once again, it's valuable to let them know that most people that are nice are good people. But unfortunately, there's a few people that know how to act nice that don't necessarily have their best intentions in mind, and that's why we need to take certain precautions.
If adults are not going to be responsible for communicating with their children, setting limits for their children, role-playing with their children, and being sure their children are safe, they have no reason to believe that their children are going to take care of themselves. Who is going to teach them?
Chances are you've already taken many precautions to protect your kids. From installing smoke detectors, taking them to their scheduled doctor's visits, to giving them the gear to protect themselves when playing a sport. You have insurance policies on your car and house against fire, theft, flood, and earthquakes. But according to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, close to half of you have not educated your children on the dangers of abduction. You will not be able to keep your children in view 100% of the time. That's why you need to educate them, talk to them, and give them the ability to take care of themselves when they are confronted with or find themselves in a potentially dangerous situation. A confident, aware, and prepared kid is our greatest defense against child abductions. Empower your kids today. So let's get started with our first section. What you as a parent can do right now: make a child ID kit. David Jones is a detective sergeant with the San Diego Police Department. He's been in law enforcement for 27 years and has been investigating crimes against children for the last 12 years. He is also a father and grandfather.
A child ID kit, or sometimes they're referred to as a life file, anything that pertains specifically to an individual human being and that human being goes missing. If we have medical information, lifestyle information, fingerprints, blood type, who their dentist is for dental records, anything like that is extremely valuable in trying to recover a missing person. And the less time that it takes us to gather that information, the more quickly we can disseminate that information not only citywide but statewide and then nationwide. And the faster and better chance we have of finding who we're looking for. The types of things that we would want to see in an identikit or information kit on a child would be a current photo within the last year. We would like information on any unusual marks, body piercings, anything of a permanent nature that can't be washed off or washed away, wiped away. Types of behaviors that they enjoy, special interests that they enjoy, places they like to hang out, and any unusual medical conditions that might require special medications or special treatment if they've been away from that treatment for a significant period of time. And if that material is ready, then we don't have to hunt it down, and you don't have to try to get yourself grounded enough to go look stuff up and get the information for us. It sure helps.
Included in your Kids in Power packet is a child ID kit to get you started. Let's go through it. Fill out your child's name, any nicknames, and their full address, their social security number, birth date and gender, Next, fill in your information, that of the parents or guardians. Continue with your child's eye color, hair color, height, weight, and blood type. You should also note any allergies your child has or medications your child may be using. Mark any distinguishing marks like scars, birthmarks, tattoos, or body piercings on the pictures. And note if your child wears glasses, contact lenses, or braces. Add a recent picture, a nice shot of the head and shoulders, and write down the date it was taken and the age your child is in the picture. If you can, please have your dentist fill out the dental chart. If you'd like, include a copy of your child's birth certificate and medical records with immunization dates. Write down your child's doctor's name and address, as well as your dentist's name and address. And if you have a full-length recent picture of your child, date it and include it. Remember, this file needs to be updated once a year, keeping the pictures and the information recent. You'll also see a place for fingerprinting. Follow the directions carefully. And don't forget, while fingerprinting your child on this ID card is better than having no fingerprint record at all, a professional set of fingerprints is preferred. Check your child's school and your community center. Sometimes organizations come out to host fingerprint events. Maybe this is something you want to organize through the school, neighborhood, or a local church program. There is only a minimal cost involved, and this way every child in your community has access to professional fingerprints. Check out the Child Protection Education of America's ID Me Now program or the Emergency Identification Services at 866-334-7225. In your ID kit, you'll also see 2 Ziploc baggies for DNA sampling. Again, some hospitals offer free DNA sampling, but if none in your area do, here's your own at-home kit. For the hair sample, follow the directions on the kit. The baggie with the Q-tip is for a saliva or blood sample. Rub the cotton swab on the inside of your child's cheek until moist. Let it dry for 24 hours. Place it in the baggie, seal it. With a permanent marker, label it with your child's name and the date of the sample, and then store it in the freezer until needed. Should your child scrape himself or get a little cut, you can do the same with the blood sample. Also included in your Kids in Power packet is a child ID card and some safe shoes IDs. Fill out the child ID card as instructed. Keep it on hand in your wallet at all times. Think about having extra cards on hand that can be given to a babysitter or family member, or whoever will be taking care of your child. With the Safe Shoes ID, fill it out and attach it to their favorite pair of sneakers, the one they wear most often. As we'll explain later, a shoe is something your child can kick off if they are being abducted and leave as a clue, which will help you and law enforcement enormously in bringing your child back home safely. You can also teach your child, should they ever find themselves separated from you or lost, to remove their shoe and hand it to a friendly adult. They now have all the contact information they need to bring your child back to you safely. A child ID kit can make a huge difference to law enforcement should something happen. It's simple and easy to put together, so do it as soon as possible. Section 2,